My fellow viewers, what is happening across Nigeria right now is serious and deserves our full attention. Many Nigerians are beginning to question what the unity of this country truly means and what direction our leaders are taking us. Recent events in the North, Middlebelt, and the Southeast are bringing back big questions that this country has been avoiding for years. Across many conversations, people are saying the same thing, that the so-called Fulani Northern control, or what some people call the Caliphate structure, is losing its grip. This is because several Hausa and Middlebelt leaders are now openly rejecting certain decisions and policies they believe do not favor their people. The truth is, the disagreement did not start today. It has been growing quietly, and now it's coming into the open. Hausa communities in parts of the North are beginning to say, we are not the same with those who speak for the entire North. And Middlebelt groups are saying they no longer want to be seen as a part of one northern bloc. This is creating serious political tension. Just recently, traditional rulers from the Middlebelt, together with community leaders, spoke strongly against the new move to make the Sultan of Sokoto a permanent co-chair in the National Council of Traditional Rulers. They said this will only give too much power to one group, while others are pushed aside. And this statement has been gaining strong support from various Middlebelt communities who feel their voices have been ignored for too long. Many are calling this the boldest rejection from the Middlebelt in decades. They believe the time has come to define their identity clearly, separate from the northern tag that politicians have used for years to control votes and national policies. And my people, this rejection is not just political, it is also emotional. It carries years of frustration about insecurity, killings, and unfair distribution of resources. Villages across Benue, Plateau, and Nasarawa have faced constant attacks by armed groups, mostly identified as herders or bandits. Communities say they are tired of living in fear while government promises continue to fail them. Now, let me be clear here. Not all Fulani people are part of these attacks. Many are peaceful, law-abiding Nigerians who also suffer from this insecurity. But the problem is that some powerful figures hide under ethnic and religious cover to protect criminals. That is what people are angry about. Please, if you're watching right now, don't forget to like this video and subscribe, because the more we talk about this kind of truth, the more people will understand what's happening and demand accountability. Now let's look at how this tension is affecting the wider political space. Inside the National Assembly, there have been quiet but heated discussions. Some lawmakers from the Middlebelt have been pushing back against what they call northern domination. They argue that the time of one region deciding for others is over. Even some Hausa politicians are now supporting that view, saying that their communities have also been sidelined by the same northern elite they used to support. You see, this is why many are calling the northern political structure a crumbling caliphate. It's not about religion, but about power. And power is shifting. The younger generation from the north are beginning to speak differently. They want fairness, better education, jobs, and peace, not just big promises from old politicians. And while all this is happening in the North and Middlebelt, the Southeast is watching closely, because the rejection by Hausa and Middlebelt leaders is giving fresh energy to the pro-Biafra voices. They say, if even the Middlebelt is now rejecting the system, then maybe Nigeria's unity is truly under question. In recent weeks, demonstrations calling for the release of Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of IPOB, have increased again. Supporters believe he's being punished for speaking against injustice. The protests in Abuja and parts of the Southeast are being met with heavy police presence, tear gas, and arrests. But instead of reducing the tension, it's increasing sympathy for him. Many Igbo youths now see the renewed Middlebelt resistance as a sign that they are not alone in their frustration. It's like every region has something to complain about. Insecurity in the north, neglect in the Middlebelt, marginalization in the southeast, and poverty across the southwest. But let's be realistic. All these problems are connected to one thing: the structure of Nigeria. A structure where power flows from the top down instead of from the people up. This is why some call for restructuring, others call for true federalism, and some go as far as calling for total separation. Please remember to like this video and subscribe if you want balanced updates on these issues, because this conversation is not ending anytime soon. Now, the biggest question is, will the government listen? The federal government insists that Nigeria's unity is non-negotiable. They continue to warn that any move toward division will not be tolerated. But saying unity is not negotiable without fixing the problems that cause disunity is like patching a leaking roof without fixing the hole. It may hold for a while, but eventually the rain will come again. In the Middlebelt today, there's a strong movement among youth groups calling for regional development and protection of their land. They want to control their own security forces, manage their natural resources, and decide their cultural future without outside interference. That's the kind of talk that used to come mostly from the south, but now it's spreading. Even among Hausa communities in Kano, Katsina, and Zamfara, you'll hear people saying things like, "We are tired of being used by politicians who claim to represent us." They're demanding change. This shift in attitude is very important. For the first time in many years, regional identity is no longer based only on religion or ethnicity. It's now about fairness and good governance. People are realizing that whether you're Hausa, Fulani, Tiv, Igbo, Yoruba, or Idoma, everyone is suffering under bad leadership and insecurity. But at the same time, if these frustrations are not properly managed, they could turn dangerous. Because once people lose faith in government, they start looking for alternatives. That's why Biafra, Oduduwa, and even Middlebelt independence talk continue to attract attention. However, the idea of Nigeria breaking up is not as simple as some people think. Even if regions separate, the issues of corruption, leadership, and poverty would still remain. So the solution must come from honest conversation and real reforms, not just division. Now, my people, what do you think? Should Nigeria remain one, or should every region go their separate way? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below, but please keep it respectful and peaceful. And if you haven't yet, kindly like this video and subscribe for more real-time updates like this one. Let's also talk about security. In the last few months, attacks in the Middlebelt have displaced thousands of people. Many families have lost their homes, farmlands, and sources of income. The silence from the top only makes people more frustrated. Citizens say they want to see real arrests, not just government statements. Community leaders are calling for security agencies to act with fairness and professionalism. They say soldiers and police should protect civilians, not intimidate them. Because once people begin to see security forces as enemies, that's when real breakdown begins. Meanwhile, the government says they are working hard to restore peace. But on the ground, people still live in fear. Many farmers can't go to their farms. Markets are half empty. Prices are rising and life is getting harder. In such an atmosphere, political trust is collapsing. That's why this issue of Northern Caliphate crumbling is not just about power. It's about people losing faith in leadership. Please, if you are still watching this gist, hit the like button right now and subscribe, because we all need to stay informed and speak up peacefully. That's how real change begins. Now, let's turn briefly to how other regions are reacting. In the Southwest, some political voices are warning that Nigeria is boiling slowly. They are calling for an urgent national conference where every region will sit together and renegotiate the system peacefully. In the South-South, oil communities are also reviving demands for better resource control. Everybody wants fairness. So, what we're seeing is not just a collapse of a northern system, it's a national awakening. Nigerians are waking up to demand respect, equity, and justice. But this awakening can either build a better country or tear it apart, depending on how our leaders handle it. Now, you might ask, how can Nigeria move forward from here? The answer is dialogue, real dialogue, not political speeches. The people need to sit together, speak honestly, and make new agreements about power, resource sharing, and security. If this doesn't happen soon, small cracks could become big breaks. Because as we speak, there are communities already taking security into their own hands, and that's dangerous for national unity.